What is happening, guys? It's Skill Up here with another Division video. Have I got some news for you? First up, this is all Datamine information, so you do need to take this with a grain of salt, but as always, I only bring you stuff that I think is actually accurate. I wouldn't be wasting your time otherwise, so I think there's a very good chance that what I'm going to talk about is going to make it into the game. This news comes courtesy of a Redditor and data miner by the name of Unknown. He posted up some very juicy information about what we might expect from patch 1.6. Now we know that patch 1.6 is the PvP focused patch. The developers have said they want to do for PvP what patch 1.4 did for PvE. And everybody has been calling out for some sort of dedicated PvP activity. It looks like we may be getting just that. The Datamine files indicated a number of different voice and text lines that point to things like match completion timers. The information you're seeing on screen here indicates that there are match completion timers of 50%, 1 minute remaining, and 30 seconds left. These are different warnings that pop up in different ways. There's about 5 or 6 different ways that each of these are said, because you don't want to hear the same voiceover every time. You want a bit of diversity. So yeah, that already indicates we are going to get some sort of new game mode that is going to be a match type. It is going to be a discrete short-term activity that has a tight timer on it. So that's point one. Point two, and the really interesting one, are these quotes here. Things that say Zone Alpha is neutral, Zone Alpha is in enemy hands, and we have taken Zone Alpha. Now clearly, there's some capture the objective type stuff going down here. And it's for this reason that I think it's highly likely we can expect some sort of dedicated capture the point style gameplay in patch 1.6. Now these same voice lines exist for points Bravo and Charlie, indicating that whatever activity we do is going to have 3 different capture points, which is very similar to most other games of this variety. So my natural assumption here is that this is a conquest or a control game mode where you need to capture specific points, collect enough points on your team to eventually win the match. There's a set timer on that, and then, you know, whoever wins, wins. So yeah, that's actually pretty damn exciting, to be honest. Everyone's been calling out for this sort of thing for a long time, myself included. I would love to see some dedicated PvP in this game, and even though something like Control or Conquest has sort of been done a lot by other games, it's a really good starting point for the Division as it looks to move into a new PvP frontier. Now the red herring in all of this is this one line here: Rogue agents control Zone Alpha. Now I have no idea what this means. I'm not sure if it means that some of these PvP activities will actually be taking place in the Dark Zone itself, and there may still be rogue agents. If everyone is in a dedicated PvP mode, then surely no one is rogue at that point. Everyone is just juking it out. So I don't know what this means yet, but I think it indicates that there's something special along the way, something we might not predict to maybe mix up this otherwise tried and proven game mode. So that's all a mystery at this point, but what is clear is that the Last Stand DLC is more than likely going to bring us some sort of PvP mode which is centered around control or capture, which is, as I said, pretty damn cool. The other bit of data mined information related to DZ leaderboards. Now that's something that we know is on the way because the developers told us that during a recent state of the game, but now we've got some new information on it. This one quote is particularly interesting. Congratulations, you have finished in the top tier of the latest weekly Dark Zone leaderboard activity. Pick up your rewards from the resources tab of the rewards claim vendor. Now there's a corresponding entry for this for monthly rewards as well, since we already knew that there are going to be both weekly and monthly leaderboard activities. What's more interesting though is the mention of tiers. There are 3 tiers that are mentioned. There's top, second, and third tier, which sort of indicates that Massive isn't just looking to provide rewards to the top 10 players, for example. They're looking to tier or stratify players so that you've got a much larger chance of getting some sort of reward if you reach one of those broader reward tiers. And finally, of course, we learned that the rewards are obtained from the rewards claim vendor. But what sort of rewards are we talking about? Well, there's actually another quote here that says the contents of Dark Zone activity leaderboard sealed containers awarded at the end of each activity period are scaled to the character that opens the container. So basically we know that we are going to be getting these sealed caches from the rewards claim vendor, but it's unclear what they will contain. It's unclear if Massive are going to put special stuff in them, unique weapons or consumables or whatever. Right now, all we know is that we are going to get caches, and the loot level of those caches will scale to your character. We also learned that you can check your standing on the leaderboards at a laptop terminal, which is going to be available in Dark Zone checkpoints. That's there on the screen. That's the exact quote from the game files. And we also learned that the DZ leaderboard data is only going to be updated once every 24 hours, which means you can only see up-to-date stats once per day. Now, this is no doubt to reduce the load on the Ubisoft servers for having to do regular updates, but I'm going to have to say, I'm going to be interested to see this one. I very fondly remember playing World of Warcraft and just sitting there in the middle of my raid waiting for the nightly honor update to happen while the servers like crunched under the weight of all that data. So it's going to be interesting to see if Ubisoft servers are going to be able to hold up to that one. We will have to watch that one very closely. Now, the very last thing that came through from this data mine was information on new contamination events, which are going to be taking place in the Dark Zone. This quote here: throughout a contamination event, contamination zones below street level in the Dark Zones rise to deadly levels. Be on the lookout for named heavy cleaners moving in to burn out the contamination. So to me, this actually sounds a lot like the supply drops that appear periodically in the DZ, only this time they'll be happening below ground instead of above ground. And they'll obviously be attracting these named cleaner bosses. We'll be able to kill them, we'll be able to get some loot. And yeah, which I think is great because I personally really love the supply drops. It's one of my favorite things to do whenever I do happen to step into the DZ. So yeah, not too bad at all. But either way, guys, as I said, this is all data mine. Nothing is confirmed. But given the stuff that we've heard from the developers already, given the fact that we don't have a PvP game mode yet and it's clear that it's needed, given the fact that this is the patch for updating and refreshing the Dark Zone and PvP experience more broadly, I think there's a very high chance that we are going to get some sort of dedicated PvP mode. And I think it's a very high chance, given what we've just seen, that it's going to have that capture or control style of gameplay that we're very familiar with. As I said, I think it's a great start. I'm really excited about it. I have been looking forward to good, proper PvP in this game forever, so I personally am very excited about it. And the leaderboards, yeah, sure, I'm not hugely a fan of that, but hey, listen, some people are going to love it, and that's good too. Anyway, guys, if you like this video and you're excited about patch 1.6, if you're excited about dedicated PvP in the Division, then hit that like button right now. Be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be doing full coverage of all the patch 1.6 lead up and the PTS and all that sort of stuff, so watch this space. Stick around, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Take good care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.